I'm David Schapira. Glad to be here with you all today. More than all the elected official positions that JP mentioned, first and foremost, I am an educator. And educators that you've seen around the state rallying in recent weeks, part of this, I know you can't see the button from out there, but the Red for Ed movement, we have an important responsibility. And the responsibility that we have as educators is to prepare the next generation. I think my friend Jamie Cassup, who is now the only Google employee in Arizona, says it best, what the role of educators is. He says, our job is not to ask our students and our children what they want to do when they grow up. Our job is to ask them what problem they want to solve. And so that is what we as educators in the 21st century are focused on, is helping our students through the process, facilitating the process of helping them be prepared to solve the problems of the future. And we have to do a very good job at that because we're leaving them plenty of problems to solve. One of those problems is climate change. Innovation and science created the problem of climate change through the Industrial Revolution. And innovation and science are the only things that can solve the problem of climate change. Another problem that we have to prepare our students to address is the growing population of humanity across the world. That problem has created food insecurity, energy insecurity, and insecurity, especially in places like Arizona, of water. And it's our job as educators and scientists to prepare the next generation to solve those problems as well. Another problem that we have to prepare the next generation that we may not have anticipated until the last couple of years is political instability in this country and in the world. As educators, we have to prepare our children to be better consumers of news and information. We have to teach them to have discerning minds, to know and understand the difference between facts and alternative facts. And so we as educators have a great task ahead of us to prepare this generation of students for the future. There's a few things that we are focused on right now in the education community to ensure that reality. One is that we have to make certain that science education is created by educators and not by politicians. We have to ensure that all of our students have access to career and technical education as well. We are lucky in Arizona that although our education system is dramatically underfunded and we have a significant teacher shortage in our state, we have one of the most robust career and technical education systems in the country. We have to ensure that that continues, that our joint technical education districts and CTE programs across the state continue to have the political support and the funding and resources to make sure the next generation of students have access to applied learning in our school system. We as educators also must be prepared to disrupt the old models of education, integrating technology into student learning, and recognizing that the old model of sticking kids in rows in school and telling them to be quiet and to do their own work and to keep their eyes on their own paper, that is not the reality in the world of adults. We have to teach students to collaborate, to use creativity, to innovate. We have to consider flipped models, inverted models of education where students do the core learning at home and then get to school and have a chance, facilitated by an educator, to work alongside their classmates to solve problems and use their creativity to collaborate. You know, there are politicians in this country that envy the Chinese and Indian education systems. They envy systems where students are identified in their fields of study in their infancy, where students are told, you will be an engineer, you will be a teacher, you will be a doctor, when they're just small, like my two daughters at 6 and 7 years old. And they have their career set out for them at that age. Although China and India consistently in recent decades beat us in the international PISA tests in math and science, Chinese and Indian leaders are not saying, they're not shouting from the rooftops that they've beat America on these tests, because they're still wondering where their Steve Jobs is, where is their Bill Gates, where is their Mark Zuckerberg. They want to know where their great innovators are. So we have to recognize that there are some things that we do in this country. There are some great innovations in our education system that promote creativity, that promote collaboration, things that don't exist in India and China. We don't need to move to an educational system where rote memorization is the norm. We don't need to move to an education system where students are told at 5 and 6 years old what their careers will be. We have to allow our students to be creative. We have to allow them to iterate and innovate and work together. Education is the pathway to achieve a vision of a country and a world where people value science and innovation and facts. Investing in education is an investment in the future of our country and our planet. And as Bill Clinton said, and I want you all to take away with you today, talent is equally distributed. It's opportunity that is not. What we do in America and have to continue to do is ensure that every child in every corner of this state and this country has the opportunity to be prepared to save our society and our planet. Education is the pathway to that opportunity. Thank you so much for being here today. I look forward to marching alongside all of you today.